Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Brendan, excuse me, the member, I'm not gonna, I apologize. For Halifax Atlantic, I apologize for this, but you know how I feel about certain things, so I'm just gonna say it. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to have the opportunity to speak today about an issue that was raised with me on many doorsteps throughout this election. Our NDP caucus has been focused on the need for affordable, accessible housing for quite some time. Reading the resolution we are debating here today, I didn't know if I should laugh or cry. We have Liberal members who sat in government, many around the cabinet table for 8 years, putting forward a resolution that says the creation of housing solutions falls under the jurisdiction of the province. Well, no kidding. I have watched the Liberal government spend 8 years not offering much in the way of housing solutions. Some, but not much. What we do know is that for 8 years, the Liberal government's plan to address housing relied on funneling public money to private landlords. When our caucus brought forward rent control legislation in 2017, and in the sittings that followed, Liberal cabinet ministers wrung their hands and said their priority was balancing the interests of landlords and tenants. During the pandemic, the Liberal government left $12 million of rapid housing funding on the table because they had not done the work to be ready with housing plans that could receive federal funding. I respect this member very highly, so while I appreciate that the Liberals have brought forward this topic for debate, it is unfortunate that they have only discovered that housing falls within provincial jurisdiction now that they are an opposition party. I am extremely happy to see hands clapping because I want to also see those hands clapping when the time comes forward to present certain things in order for us to actually make things move and have action. Similarly, in the past 8 years, the Conservatives have only proposed 2 pieces of legislation on housing. Mr. Speaker, or Madam Speaker, I apologize, I didn't see you up there. Madam Speaker, I think that explains how we got here. For 8 years, we had a government that was happy to give public money to their big developer friends, while the number of people struggling to pay the rent grew and grew. And we had a Conservative opposition that didn't think that was such a bad idea. I don't think any member in this House can look around and be surprised that across the province there are thousands of families who rent their homes that are worried about the next big increase. Over 120,000 people in Nova Scotia rent. So this is not a small problem. More than 23,000 households spend more than 50% of their income each month on housing, and it was mentioned before that sometimes it's more than 50%. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Halifax has increased 20% in the past year. Rent control keeps rent in check. It means people can plan their lives. It means more people will be able to save up for a down payment to buy their own home. But we also know that rent control is only one tool that the provincial government has. It was mentioned as well by another member across the table. We also need more housing. We need to build more affordable housing to make sure people can stay in their homes or find affordable places to move when they need to. The NDP wants inclusionary zoning so that municipalities are able to require more affordable housing. This is why we've been talking about it and introducing bills to implement this for years. The NDP wants the province to have the first right of refusal so the government can be the first in line to purchase those buildings and work with nonprofit organizations to keep units affordable or create more housing options. The NDP also recognizes that housing is a right and profit is not. We need the Conservative government to listen right now, to take us serious, to look at the bills that we're putting forward and to show us that they're ready to take real action to address the housing crisis. We also need to recognize that we need to explore all options in order for us to make this work, which means we're going to have to work together in order for this to be successful for our own government and for the province of Nova Scotia. So we need to listen to each other and do what's right, not what we think our party wants us to do.